And now the news on phone. The Development Bank of Nigeria has convened stakeholders, entrepreneurs, and policymakers in Abuja for its 2025 Annual Lecture Series with a central theme, positioning Nigerian micro, small, medium enterprises for growth in dynamic policy environments. Delivering the opening address, Managing Director of the Development Bank of Nigeria, Dr. Tony Okpanachi, described the bank as a convener of ideas and reaffirmed its commitment to providing Nigerian MSMEs with the right tools to thrive. He highlighted that more than 1.1 million enterprises have benefited from DBN's partnership with financial institutions, sustaining jobs and building dreams across the country.
And what we do, we get entrepreneurs, people with ideas to come and pitch, right, for their ideas, innovative ideas. And we get winners out of that. That's the starting point. We'll get the first top three and we'll provide some grant for them to start, for them to be able to develop their ideas and then from there scale it up and be able to have access to finance. So that's the first step. The next thing which we are working on is to say, are we able to create funds specifically to fund ideas and innovative ideas? Because we also have a key mandate to also develop startups, and these startups always start from ideas, so innovative ideas for that product. So now that's the next stage we are working on, to have dedicated funds that will be able to deploy it for startups, for those innovative ideas.
The keynote address was delivered on behalf of Vice President Kashim Shettima by Special Advisor on Economic Affairs, Dr. Tokwe Faswar. He praised DBN robust governance and alignment with the government's renewed hope agenda. He outlined major policy reforms, including forced subsidy removal, exchange rates unification, climate financing, and digital empowerment, which he said are designed to reposition Nigerian businesses for sustainable growth.
Deserves a great deal of commendation. I'm not surprised that development partners like the likes of World Bank, African Development Bank, European Investment, German Development Bank, French Development Bank, etc., have also recognized and showered DBN with a lot of accolades for its achievements, including the top-notch corporate governance structure, the robust monitoring and evaluation mechanism, as well as checks on your PFIs, is firm confirmation of these achievements.
Another keynote came from Flora Mutahi, the first female chairperson of Kenyan Private Sector Alliance. She underscored the critical role of African MSMEs in job creation and economic resilience, but warned of structural challenges such as fragmented markets and limited capital flows. She urged entrepreneurs to build strong systems, leverage customer data, and embrace collaboration. In her words, alone is fragile, together is powerful.
Well, what we need to do is to learn it. You know, don't wait for government to come and disseminate. We're living in a knowledge economy. There's a lot of knowledge out there. If we actually just went out, even on YouTube and all the free internet places, there'd be a lot to learn. And then begin to apply it. Don't wait for a perfect day. AI is already being used, but I want to argue that a lot of us are using AI just to reply mail and to send good messages. Let us see what we can do to do exactly what we do in business. Look for your customer, understand the customer, aggregate it. So it's really about learning and using without fear.
A policy panel discussion featured international consultant Jelani Aliyu and Professor Aliyu Dahiru Muhammad of Bayero University, Kano. They examined the importance of scaled-up funding, risk-based regulations, and infrastructural support for small businesses. Jelani called for collective effort, urging Nigerians to rise beyond incremental progress and aim for global competitiveness. A further insight came from entrepreneurs including Ifyong Williams and Prince Arthur Uche, who stressed the need to harness local raw materials, navigate regulatory bottlenecks, and adopt scalability business model despite policy constraints. Also speaking, the Director General of Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, Charles Odi, outlined Smartden's innovation drive to strengthen small businesses through new support programs.
What we're driving at is for small businesses to register in their clusters. So when they register in their clusters, they will register in their business member organization, they will register in their cooperatives, we can then help to talk to them. We have a product called One Local Government, One Product. We'll go through the 774 local governments in Nigeria, and we're giving those clusters and cooperatives funding at zero interest. We give you the 100 naira, for instance, or you pay back the same 100 naira. But even what is innovative about it is that part of the funding is grants. So if you give a cluster 10 million naira, what they pay back is 7 million naira. 70% of it is a loan, zero interest, 30% is a grant. And this one is what is actually working, what has tested, and we're seeing that when we lend and we borrow a cluster, each and every member of the cluster, every member of the cooperative can benefit from it, and then they can pay back.
Parents at the event shared her take-home, noting that
there are some policies that need to be tweaked a bit to actually deliver on what the intent is. There are other policies, however, that are working. However, I think where the major problem is these policies are not being translated to the people that actually need them. Because, for example, if you go now and gather a group of women or even men that are doing business and you ask them what these policies are, a lot of them do not even know. So I think in that area, more work needs to be done in educating the people who you're making policies for on what these policies are, so that they are even aware in the first place that they exist. Because if they do not know, they can't take advantage of them. And most importantly, they can't also relate to you what is working and what is not.
The 2025 DBN Lecture Series ultimately underscored a unified message. With the collaboration, innovation, and the right policy environment, Nigerians' MSMEs can transform resilience into long-term prosperity.